The entire cardiac cycle is basically this highly coordinated, beautifully timed dance of systole and diastole, happening across different chambers at different times.
So here is our master roadmap for the chronological journey of a single heartbeat from start to finish. We've got 4 main destinations on this 0.8-second road trip. Let's hit step 1.
Filling and atrial contraction, the setup.
Okay, picture this. Blood is returning to the heart from the body and lungs, pooling into the top chambers, the atria. Now, because the pressure in these filling atria is just a tiny bit higher than the pressure in the relaxed ventricles down below, the AV valves, the entry doors, just open right up. Gravity and that slight pressure gradient do most of the heavy lifting here. Actually, a massive 70 to 80% of the blood passively drops right down into the ventricles without a single muscle needing to flex. Pretty incredible, right?
But, we want those ventricles completely topped off. To get that last little bit of blood, the heart's natural pacemaker, the SA node, fires an electrical signal. If you're watching an EKG monitor, this electrical wave pops up as the P wave. This depolarization tells the atria to contract, that's atrial systole, actively squeezing the remaining 20% of the blood down into the ventricles.
Now, what's really wild is that throughout this entire filling process, the pressure inside the atria is incredibly low, just hanging out near 0 millimeters of mercury. It takes basically no pressure at all to passively fill the heart. But get ready, because things are about to get a whole lot more intense.
Isovolumetric contraction, building the pressure.
All right, the ventricles are fully loaded, stretched out, and preparing to push back. That electrical signal shoots down into the heavy, thick muscles of the ventricles, creating that massive QRS complex you see on an EKG. The instant the ventricles get this signal, they start to squeeze, ventricular systole. As they squeeze, the pressure inside them spikes rapidly. The blood naturally tries to escape back up the way it came, but that backward push snaps the AV valves firmly shut. No going back now.
I absolutely love this analogy. Think of the heart valves like heavy wooden doors. Opening them, totally silent, but slamming them shut, that makes a real noise. That forceful closing of the AV valves gives us our very first heart sound, known clinically as S1, or the famous lub.
So, right here is a crucial magical fraction of a second. The AV valves just snap shut behind the blood, but the exit doors, the semilunar valves, haven't opened yet because the pressure just isn't high enough. The contracting ventricle has literally become a sealed container. The muscle is squeezing fiercely, the volume of blood has nowhere to go, so the pressure inside simply skyrockets. That right there is isovolumetric contraction.
Ventricular ejection, breaking the threshold.
Let's put this into perspective and look at the actual numbers, because they are staggering. The aorta, that massive artery leading out to your body, sits at a resting pressure of about 80 millimeters of mercury. To push blood out, the left ventricle has to generate enough force to beat that 80. As it contracts, the pressure rockets up, peaking at around 120 millimeters of mercury. On the flip side, the right ventricle only has to overcome about 10 millimeters of mercury to push blood to the lungs, maxing out around 25.
It all boils down to simple physics. Things move from high pressure to low pressure. Once that soaring ventricular pressure finally blasts past the arterial pressure sitting in the aorta and pulmonary trunk, the semilunar doors are violently forced open. Blood is powerfully ejected out into your body and your lungs. It's a massive push.
After that intense, violent squeeze, the heart is basically exhausted. It enters its final phase, isovolumetric relaxation. This is a brief but absolutely vital reset period. On the EKG monitor, the heart resetting its electrical grid shows up as the T wave, ventricular repolarization. The electrical signal stops, the ventricles relax back into diastole, and their internal pressure drops like a rock, falling right below the high pressure of the blood they just pumped out.
And here's where physics kicks in again. Because the pressure in the ventricles suddenly plummets, the ejected blood in the arteries tries to fall backward down into the heart. But as it falls, it gets caught in the cup-like flaps of the semilunar valves, slamming them shut. Remember our door analogy? That violent closing creates the second heart sound, S2, or the dub.
Let's take a step back and appreciate the beautiful mechanical symmetry here. With the semilunar valves now shut and the AV valves not open quite yet, we are temporarily back to a sealed container. But this time, the muscle is relaxing.
So one isovolumetric phase builds extreme pressure to force valves open, while the other completely drops the pressure right after they close, prepping the heart to fill all over again.
Understanding this flawless, perfect sequence is incredible, right? Keep wondering, keep studying, and I'll catch you next time.